Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, I want to take a look at this small, defunct publisher from the 1990s, and their lead character was Bloodfire. This is issue 12 for their first year anniversary issue. It's Bloodfire, 1994, from Lightning Comics. And this is written by Steven Ziskowski, with pencils by Terrell Lawrence and inks by Patricia Laskowski. Polish names can be difficult, especially when you're not used to them. Okay, Lightning Comics was an independent comic publisher out of Oakland County, Michigan, published from 1993 to 1998, and I guess they changed locations many times during that time, but all in that county. But different towns. It was founded by Joseph and Steve Ziskowski, and they wanted to produce comics unlike those being produced at the time. As far as I can tell, they failed at that. Unlike at the time. So what they wanted to produce what they thought that the comics at the time lacked substance. They produced a startup business model with backers, and got the distributors interested enough that their first book, Bloodfire #1, sold 50,000 copies. That's pretty respectable for any publisher now. They specified that each issue would have a limited print run to enhance collectability, and Bloodfire ran for 13 issues, so this is the next to the last issue of this title, and I don't think they planned on that at this time. And most titles only ran a few issues, but had crossovers with other publishers and stuff, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then they got into variant covers and part of the bad girl movement with semi-nude bad girls on the covers. Now, Bloodfire is a U.S. Marine by the name of Brian Reese, and he was injured in combat, was given a super soldier formula by the sketchy Dr. Thorpe, giving him superpowers, which is his blood flames. Bursts into flames when it's exposed to air, and I think that's not all. I think that's just a byproduct, because he becomes, at one point in here, his hands erupt in flames too. So I think he's able to control that, and others are later given powers as well. So this whole revolves around that. So, and if you look at the cover here, Lightning. I remember seeing some Lightning comics at the time, and in markdown bins, etc. Since then, but I don't know if I ever bought any prior to this. And also, if you look at this cover illustration, you can clearly see a strong John Byrne influence, who was very popular in the 80s and 90s. So here we are, Bloodfire #12. And I don't know what's been going on, but that Dr. Thorpe has apparently gotten given himself some of that super stuff formula and done something to himself. He's got away. He's not a good guy because he was doing some sketchy testing on people. Even though he was working for the government, he was sketchy even for them. And he has escaped. And here they are in this forest where he has apparently fallen from 300 feet. And he's with SCAN soldiers. Doesn't identify what SCAN is. I presume it's a SHIELD-like organization. And we have here Bloodfire is with another powered form fix. And I'm not sure what her respective powers are, but form fix. And they're searching for him. He's fallen from a great height. They presume he's probably dead or seriously injured, but they can't find a trace of him. So they're looking around, and like right out of Godzilla as well as King Kong movies, form fix falls right into the impact crater from him, but it's form. So I don't know what the deal is, because this form that she's fallen into is significantly larger than a human being. So why he was so large, I don't know. And then they see blood all over the place, so he must obviously be injured. They're looking, and then they get a call. You got to go back out to the ship. They're operating off of an aircraft carrier out at sea somewhere. So you're both commanded to go back. So we switch scenes. There's some biker stopping to take a whiz, and somebody comes up to steal his bike, and it is Thorpe himself. See, here he's normal human size, and he is grotesquely deformed. He takes off with the bike, and he's got to go someplace where he can hole up. And I think, oh, there's an old abandoned military base in this area. I think I'll try to find that. Then we change scenes to a completely different plot line. This here is Prodigal, and he is the apprentice / son of Overthrow. Here's Overthrow. He's kind of like the dark side character for this universe, apparently. And they had another character called Storman, who was prisoner, and it turns out that Prodigal had let him go because Prodigal wants to be the next one in line for power from Overthrow, but Overthrow was wanting to corrupt Storman. So Overthrow is not happy, and he goes, Daddy spank, and he reduced his powers by half, and then sends him out to find Storman and get him back. So then we have a double-page spread. It's a reasonably impressive drawing here of the cityscape in the background. And none of these creators have I heard of before or since that I am aware of. So I don't know if they continued to work in the field for some time after this, after this publisher folded, or what. I don't know. But he's respectable. You can still see there is strong John Byrne influences and what looks like Liefeld-esque influences in the art as well. But the background is pretty respectable here. He did, the one complaint I have about this double-page spread, which I said is impressive, is, of course, he put the main part of his face just outside the gutter, but the gutter still crosses his face. He should have either had the figure farther to the left or farther to the right, so that the gutter did not bisect his face. It is a cardinal sin, and I find professionals doing that very thing all the time. You want to avoid putting the main focus of your image in the gutter if you're doing a spread like that. Anyway, so he's out. He's griping to himself. The hunt begins. He's looking for Storman, ad for other titles. So he's zipping around into the city. This is in New York. Zipping around, he's causing some problems. Then we're back to Bloodfire, and he's being told that he's going to be going to have to stand down. And remember, he's a Marine, and he's going to be discharged on a medical discharge, because it turned out they just discovered that when he was given the powers by Dr. Thorpe, that he had used the HIV virus as a catalyst, which was not used in any of the others afterwards, because he found a way around that. So even though he won't get AIDS, he is a carrier, and as such, they consider him a potential threat to his comrades. Here you can really see the John Byrne influence on that face, as well as that figure. And he is not happy about that, and Form Fix is standing up for him, but as well. But here you can see his flaming in his hands, and because he's angry, but he stands down. Then in the center is a spread is an ad and poster for War Party, an issue of War Party. It says here, as seen on TV, and I don't know what that's referring to. Followed by an ad for another title, Purge. Then we're back to Thorpe. Gets to that abandoned military base, crashes in, and that's the last we see of them for now. Because back in New York, Prodigal is causing problems in the city, and already being covered by the news, and because he's causing problems and doing stuff now, and this brings out the guy he's looking for, Storman, who seems to be some kind of cyborg being. And so they go to town, go fight, with little regard for property or safety of civilians, and they exchange a few quips, some explosions, kablooey, blowing up gas. Then we're back to Bloodfire and his civilian guys as he is leaving, getting ready to leave the ship because he has been discharged. No, even a medical discharge, does not happen that quickly. It would, from the initiation, it would take at least several days, if not weeks, to process a discharge like that. Because it takes, even when a discharge is pre-planned for the end of your enlistment, and it still takes longer than that. So, he's got a sea bag. He's lamenting. He's seeing his buds as he's leaving, and just as he's about to leave, he sees on the TV in the mess decks the news coverage of the battle going on in New York City. So, he said. He's told by the pilot, I'm told I can take you wherever you want to go. So, okay, take me to New York. So he gets to New York, and it turns out it was Form Fix. I guess she's a shapeshifter who was the pilot. And so he gets on his costume, and they're just getting to New York City, where he's going to intrude on the action going on there. And dun, dun, dun. Next month, Bloodfire 0, number 0. So, I don't know what that means. So, and that's all I've got. They have a thing about the past year of the publisher, and that's it. It's not well written. I mean, it's not poorly written. Okay, it's just kind of like in a transition. You don't see that much action involving the main character. But some of the secondary characters, it's leading up to some what promises to be some good action, and the art is pretty respectable in this, and I sure hope that these creators did get work elsewhere in the comics field, but overall it's kind of a meh. It's not that interesting. It's reasonably well constructed, presented and told, but it's not that thrilling. Just from the example of this one issue that I've got, and I think it's the only one I've seen. So it's okay if you come across it for $1, but I wouldn't go out looking for it. Okay, thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do leave your comments down below. Are you familiar with Lightning Comics? Have you read any of this character or any of the other titles? And let me know what you have thought of them if you have. And remember, people, comics are art.